So, Matt, run down the health of this team as it enters week number 4, game number 4. And Tim, you can certainly speak to where you think this team stands from a health standpoint and who could be a key replacement and fill-in player or two.
Well, I think the main injury note for USC, and of course, in the background, we have to remember that Solomon Tuliaupupu is out for the season, a significant injury there. But just in terms of the week-to-week flow of the season, Mason Cobb is really the main guy that we need to monitor closely these next couple of weeks because he didn't play against Nevada or Stanford. And again, like the coaching staff could afford to do that. Like there's no risk of losing either of those games. Now coming off an off week, an idle week, you would think that they would need to get him some reps. You would think that they'd need to get him some action. It doesn't have to be an enormously high snap count, but maybe, you give him 15 to 20 snaps so they can test out what's going on. And then you can kind of see where he's at going into the Colorado game on September 30. But you don't have to overextend Mason Cobb, but I think you do want to see Mason Cobb on the field so that you can kind of get his stamina up a little bit. You can get his endurance, his fitness base up and with some live reps. But, if his body isn't ready, because you're going up against, a skeleton ASU team, basically, you can afford to wait one more week if that's the calculation that USC needs to make. But you need a healthy Mason Cobb on that field for Notre Dame. You need him in on that field in that battle against Sam Hartman and the Irish. So Mason Cobb to me is the single most important USC injury story that we have. I mean, I know that the Gino Quinones injury on the offensive line is notable and it's reduced the depth a little bit, but Quinones was a backup. So it's not as though you're losing one of your prime starters on the offensive front. But Mason Cobb, is supposed to really improve the tackling, such a hinge point player for this USC defense against quality opposition in that second half of the schedule, starting with the Notre Dame game. That's really, to me, the number one injury concern at USC.
Yeah, and the other one I can think of, the notable is Tyrone Taleni's been out for a while. He's just more depth at defense, but he flashed some great stuff last year. But Mason Cobb, I agree with you, Matt, on all those points. You do want to give him there, get that stamina up, shake the rust off. He is the leader in many ways. He's not just a player on the field, but he's also off. Just a motivator. He's the one that got it with the media days. He's a captain on the team, so he's a big part of this team and makes them go. And again, we were looking for big things from him, shoring up that middle of that defense. But I got to tell you, in his when he's been out, younger players have been stepping up at linebacker. Really liked a lot of what we've been seeing from the linebackers because it's hard. You didn't see really much of a drop off. I know the competition is not there right now yet, but with Rajon Davis coming in, just really taking up where he left off during that Cotton Bowl. It was a lot, not much you could take out of the Cotton Bowl, but that was a bright shining moment. The way he came in just for a couple of plays and said, "Hey, wow, look at this guy play," and the way he played against the tight end for Stanford. I forgot the guy's name, but he was able to. You're a sec. He was able to shut him down. And the one play they had, a little crossing route, which gave SC fits to get separation. He broke up. He had a nice pass breakup. He also stopped him short of 6, a little drag route, 6 yards. Usually used to run, the guy would run over. Rajon took him right down. So I like the way he's kind of playing off the ball a little bit, and he's shining. His coverage skills against tight ends, but also he's getting to the ball as well. So there really hasn't been that much of a drop off with the linebackers. But I agree with you. The long run, you're going to want to see. You do want to see Mason Cobb get back out there because I think he is the centerpiece of this defense. But it's also nice to know that we have guys shining behind him.